It's Monday morning. I have been up for a while. I've had breakfast and working on lunch already because I had breakfast at like 4 a.m. this morning. So I have been doing some work inside the house, doing some cleaning, cleaning up the kitchen a little bit, cleaning the stove, and washing dishes and cleaning the countertops and cleaning the refrigerator. I'm not much of a house cleaner, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know this if you've been around for a while, but talked to the landman from the gas company to make sure we were all on the same page about the road up through there, and talked to Mr. Ray, so hopefully we're straightened out on that. But what I thought I would do is show you what I've been working on cross-stitch wise since my last podcast. So Vanessa gave me this bag for Christmas. It's an all Arkansas fabric bag. And so I've been sticking my completed We Believe pieces in here. So I'll just show you all of them that I have done so far. So this was meant to be the center panel. I'm going to make a mobile, remember, out of these. So these are all wadded up because they've been in various bags. But that was the centerpiece. And then after that, the next one that I did was kindness is everything. But I added the caveat that boundaries matter. I was going to put boundaries are important, but I couldn't fit important. So I put boundaries matter with an asterisk down there at the bottom. And then, and thank you, Michelle, for that. And then just recently I completed Science is Real. All right. So that's the one that I was working on my last podcast, and I have now completed that. And I also have completed Love is Love. All right. Now I think what I'm going to do is get hoops and wrap them either with washi tape or seam binding or something, or paint them. And I'm going to get like oval shaped hoops for these and round ones for the square shaped things. And that's what I'm going to use to make my mobile. Sarah from Notorious Needle has a tutorial on how she wraps with washi tape. So you can go on there and watch that. And this is her pattern, by the way. This is the We Believe Sal from 2021. Now you can buy both the complete Sal pattern, or if you just want individual parts of it, you can buy the individual singles instead, if you would prefer those. No, we're not doing that this morning. Now, what I decided was, since I had met my Whip Go goal when I completed Science is Real, and then I met my stretch goal with Love is Love, I'm like, well, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep working on it. So the next one that I did was this one, which I'm working on. All Bodies Are Beautiful. Okay. Which is this. This is the single for it. All Bodies Are Beautiful. And I've had this Threadworks Bradley's Balloons for quite a while because it was really popular last year at some point. So I bought it last year when everybody else was getting it. And that's the variegated floss, but then I decided to do the words in solid. So I'm going to do the scrolls in the Bradley's Balloons, and then do the words in a solid. So I think that will look better. So I'm quite a ways on that. I'm about, well, a third of the way done, because there's all, and then there's scrolls on either side of that, and then beautiful, and there's a matching scroll work at the bottom. So I'm about a third of the way done on that. If I can get that done, then I'm going to go on and just continue working on the patterns like I was talking a little bit about yesterday. So let me pause this and I'll go grab the one that's got them all on it. And you can kind of see what's left. Okay, so this is the final installment with all of them on there. So you can see that's the entire big piece. So I've got We Believe, Kindness is Everything, Science is Real, Love is Love, All Bodies Are Beautiful. And then I've got these ones left. So Healthcare is a Right, Truth Has Power, Black Lives Matter, A Living Wage Lifts All, No Human is Illegal, and Women's Rights are Human Rights. So these all have smalls that go with them also. So I have to decide which one I'm going to go on to next. I don't remember which one was next up in the order of the Sal. And so this one, and this one has more stitching on it than these three. So I don't know if I want to try to knock out like these two before the end of the month, or if I want to start on one of the larger ones. I think I may go ahead and start on healthcare as a right and see how far I can get on that before the end of the month. And honestly, what I may do is, regardless of what gets drawn next month, this will be still my project that I work on, because I kind of get to a tipping point on these things where when I get halfway, I want to push forward and get some momentum going. So we'll see. She has a pro-choice sale coming out at the end of this month that is going to be complete by the time the Supreme Court decisions start coming out in June. And we're all, waiting to see what the Supreme Court decision is. But anyway, so that is the We Believe sale. You can purchase this pattern now from the Notorious Needle website, or you can purchase the individual smalls. The smalls were a bonus if you join the sale, but now you can purchase just if you want, like Science is Real by itself. So like Love is Love is a bookmark if you want to make it one or whatever, but you can purchase any of those, and they all have borders around them, so they wouldn't be just the words. The smalls all have those borders that you've seen in my work around them. So you can get that from Sarah at Notorious Needle. Hi, Luna. Hi. You a pretty kitty? Oh, yes, you're a pretty kitty. Hi, kitty. Camelot. Kitty cat. Meow meow. Meow meow. Hi, muffins. Oh, hi. Hi. Yeah. Well, you knocked my cup over. Good thing it was empty, huh? Oh, Muffaletta. Muffaletta, muff muff. Muffins. Muffins. I can't. Oh, Muffins, you punched me in the stomach. Hi, Satchel. I got some fabric from Joann.com today. Look. It's called the Strawberry Stealers. Isn't that sweet? I got enough to make a dress, so it'll be a cute dress for work. It's just cotton fabric, but great for a summer dress. It just arrived. FedEx just dropped it off, so yay. Hi, Penny. Hi, Penny. Y'all are loud. Hi, Penny. You enjoying your salad and your vegetables there? Okay, so I got my second bin prepared. I'm probably going to plant sweet potatoes in this, so it'll be a minute before I plant it, but at least it's prepared. And that pretty well cleaned out one side of that old chicken pen. So I'll start working on the other side to fill up my existing raised beds. You can definitely tell that there's a front headed in. It's overcast. Right now, the wind is more or less from the south, which is bringing in some moist air out of the Gulf. There's a warm front pushing up from the south, but coming from the west is a cold front, and it's coming through, I know, Colorado, because Penny said they were expecting storms. It's probably going to meet up right over us and create what's called an occluded front, which is why we're going to get so much rain in the next couple of days. So right now we've got these, I would call these stratus to stratocumulus clouds, because you can see a few lumpy forms in it here, but it's kind of generally overcast. Over here you can see better the cumuliform shapes. Here, cumulus means heaps or piles, and so cumulus clouds look like lumps or piles of clouds in the sky. And then stratus means layers, so stratocumulus means layers with lumps. So it kind of reminds me of quilt batting in a way. But yeah, you can definitely tell that front's coming in, because the temperature is dropping and the wind is starting to get a little starting to shift around a little bit and become gusty. Now this is not a friend. This is a bagworm. They create these little pupa, or whatever you want to call it, chrysalises. There's not really a chrysalis. on plants, and then they come out and they can actually destroy a plant if you let enough of them get on there. So this is not a friend. Anytime I find these, they go away. So not a friend. Delicious apple. No, this is Granny Smith. This is my Granny Smith. And then my Golden Delicious is next to it. Or no, I'm lying. This is my Arkansas Black. That's my Granny Smith. And this is my Golden Delicious. I have this written down in a book, so I'll know. See, there's another one of those things right there. So it's got to go away. And down here is my Honeycrisp. This is Honeycrisp. It has not done particularly well. It may be just a little bit too warm for it here. But it did make a couple apples last year, and I planted another little apple tree that's supposed to be a pollen. So that is where'd you go? That is an orb weaver egg case that may be last year's, because it looks like it may be blue here on the wind. That's an orb weaver case that's hatched out its little baby spiders. Okay, so I am finishing up my outside chores. I've got to take care of the rabbits, but I'm gonna feed the cows. They saw me walk over to the tractor too, so you can hear them telling me about it. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about something that happened this morning. I shared a post on social media about you don't owe someone who has harmed you forgiveness. You don't owe an abuser forgiveness or someone who has harmed you. It doesn't matter if they're related to you. It doesn't matter if it's a parent. It doesn't matter if it's a spouse or an ex-spouse or a child. You don't owe them anything. And I agree with that. I don't buy into the whole turn the other cheek sentiment, because that just lets bullies get away with stuff. To me, the only person that needs forgiveness in that situation is if you feel angry at yourself for putting yourself in that situation, because it can happen to anybody, and it can happen before you know it, and sometimes you are duped. I was a grown woman and found myself in a very toxic relationship. There was no hitting, but there were other forms of physical violence. There was emotional violence. There was verbal abuse. And I was a grown woman, and it was successful in my career, had done a lot of things, but in my private life, I was allowing this to happen. And I was mad at myself for a long time about that, because I'm like, you should have known better. You would have told a friend, But sometimes we get ourselves in these situations, and we just think, well, if we just try harder, or it should work on paper, so maybe I'm the problem. And honestly, it wasn't until this person threatened my animals that I left. And, I was mad at myself for a long time about that, but I don't owe that person anything. I don't owe them forgiveness. I forgive myself, and that releases that tie that they had to me. Someone commented that, well, this is a bogus post. You should forgive everybody. And I thought, how much internalized misogyny does this person have that she feels like that she owes someone who has sexually assaulted her or been physically violent toward her, or abusive toward her, an apology or forgiveness? I don't owe them that. They got to work on that themselves, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that she said it was a bogus post. If she wants to be forgiving, that's her choice. But to tell other people who have been victimized that they owe a forgiveness to the person that's done it, that's BS, in my opinion. I don't subscribe to the trope, like I said, of turn the other cheek. I don't owe that person anything. And I occasionally still have dealings with that person, very rarely, but sometimes we move in the same circles, and I don't owe that person anything, and I forgave myself, and that was what cut the tie. that you know, whatever, the between me and that person, that emotional bond was cut when I gave myself forgiveness for falling into that trap so easily, you know. And still, clearly still it bothers me, or I wouldn't have said it like that. But I disagree that you have to forgive your abuser. I don't think that's right. I don't think that you have to do anything like that. That's baloney. So anyway, that was just on my mind today. So we're gonna go feed some cows now. Hello, big boy. Hello, big boy. Big boy. Oh, I'm here in the backyard, back past where my rabbits are at. And I'm gonna have to trim these cedar limbs too, because these broke in the ice storm as well. So what I'll probably do is just trim the lower parts off, and then let the other parts just stay up there. That'll be easier to do, and it won't cause any problems anyway, so that'll be good. So this winter, when I was walking around in the pasture, I found this old fence panel. It's bent, and it was probably part of a fence that we took down at some point, and then it never got taken up to the house. So it'll make great trellis for something. It's bent, so I don't want to use it for a fence, but it'll work great to trellis beans or peas or squash or something like that on. So I'm a big believer in use what you got. It's the pile of stuff which may at one point be useful. So anyway, I'm going to take this up to the house and get it over where I can use it in the garden. So again, in the vein of using things that I already have, this is an old hay ring. We used them a long time ago. You can see it's in pretty bad shape. It's rusty. But we used them when we used to feed round bales of hay. But the problem is we had a couple of calves get hung up in them and hurt themselves, so we decided no more. So what I did is I brought this one up and cut part of it off, and then it makes a good trellis. So what I'm hoping to do is, I had some of this bird netting that I used when I let my chickens free range to keep them out of my garden, because they will tear up everything if you give them a chance when it's small. I layered this over the top of it, and what I hope to do is grow some big squash on here. Maria was kind enough to send me some seeds for those big Tromboncino squash, so I'm hoping to grow them on this. I've been saving some old bed sheets to make, you know, hammocks for them, so we'll see how they do. I may also use that panel I just brought up and plant some in another bed. So I'm supposed to go see Wendy and get some more wood for some more raised beds. So if I could build 3 or 4 more raised beds, then that would give me a little bit more flexibility in where I put things. Right now I have 11 plus 2 large ones, and that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Especially when you can and preserve. So anyway, yeah, so got that done. I think this is all the chores I'm going to try to complete outside for today. I've done my feeding and my watering and everything. So I think I'm going to go inside and work on a few things. Before I go in, I'll show you this plant. This is flowering quince. This is a shrub. It is a very old-fashioned plant. I dug this up actually at an old house place that they were getting ready to raise the house and burn everything and bulldoze everything. So my friend Tim actually clued me into that, and I went down there. Here come the geese. I went down there and dug up a couple. This one's doing a lot better, and they do actually make fruits. These are some of the fruits left over from last fall. I don't know if the fruits are edible, but anyway, it seems to be quite happy here. So yeah, flowering quince. This is one of my elderberries that I planted. This is actually one that I ordered from Stark Brothers. I forget the variety name on it, but I planted some to get a little bit more diversity. So this is one that I ordered, and then I have been replanting ones that I have gleaned from like off the sides of the road, just across in the ditch here, because the county will mow them down anyway. But you can never have too many elderberries. The one thing about it, once you plant elderberry and it does okay, you're going to have them from now on, because they will aggressively self-sow and spread. I thought you guys might enjoy these pictures. This is a picture of my mother and all of her siblings. That's my mama. She was the youngest. And that's my Aunt Leona, my Uncle Gene, my Uncle John, and my Uncle Archie. And then that's their pet. So that's my mama when she was about 10 months old. And then this is my daddy and my grandma and grandpa that I knew. Or grandma and grandpa that I knew. My grandpa looks very serious. I guess they had to hold very still. But that's my daddy when he was about 3 or 4 years old. So I thought I'd show y'all those. Willie, what are you doing? Willie. Willie. Okay, well, the rain and storms have arrived. So I quickly, before they got here, took my shower and washed my hair. So this is me, fresh face, no makeup, no nothing. I was trying to grow my nails out. Farming is hard on your fingernails, which is now I remember why I usually keep acrylics. So what I'm doing right now is I had ordered a foot pedal for my extra sewing machine. I have several sewing machines, but my Singer Quantum needs to go into the shop because I think the motor's bad on it. But my Singer Merit, which is one Mom and I shared some years ago, Lucky, who is a nervous chewer and doesn't like thunder, chewed through the cord. And so I've set it to the side because I already had my Quantum. But it would be nice to have it to set up, particularly just to sew maybe on knits. So I had ordered a foot pedal, and I thought that I was very careful and had put the right one in my cart, but apparently I didn't. So now I need to send it back. So I'm back here getting ready to package that up and get ready to go to the mail tomorrow. And then I also have to pay my Rural Fire Association dues. They're due. They're very strange. They're due at like different times of year. I think whoever's the new chief, the transition is oddly timed every year, because sometimes they're doing the summer, and I got this notice in February, so I need to send it in. But I do appreciate what they do for us. You know, when we had the big fire in 2012, they were one of the first units that responded. So I was thankful for that. It's all volunteers. So I appreciate them for doing that. So I'm going to package that up. And then I'm probably going to have a quiet evening of either cross-stitching or knitting. My elbows are a little bit sore from muscles. My elbows are a little bit sore from shoveling all the compost, and so I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break today. And tomorrow it's supposed to rain all day also, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. So I'm probably just going to have a quiet evening. I need to do some sewing, probably do that tomorrow, but yeah. I'm going to watch my friend Johnny Darktronic. He does his DJ sets on Monday night live on TikTok, so I'm probably going to watch his DJ set. They sent me an email or a message. This week's theme is vampires. So I said, okay, I've got a good golden oldie for you. I want to hear Cry Little Sister from the Lost Boys. So they said, okay, we'll get you on there. So anyway, so I'm going to listen to that tonight and probably just chill out. So anyway, thanks to everybody who has watched and interacted with the videos. I appreciate y'all very much. And I will see y'all, I guess, tomorrow. So thanks for coming along on another farm vlog for spring break. Bye.